Willkommen zurück bei The Zodiac Trial. Im letzten Part haben wir es geschafft, mit unserem Verbrechen, dem Mord an Sheep und Snake davonzukommen. Und gleichzeitig haben wir sogar Bunny dazu gebracht, als Verdächtigen dazustehen und ihn ebenfalls erdrosselt. Dem folgte dann ein kleines Gespräch und ein Panikkill gegen Pig, die dann von Horse und Dog gesucht wurde, aber nicht gefunden wurde, weil, keine Ahnung, Rooster magische Fähigkeiten hat. Kein Plan. Sie sind verschwunden, keiner weiß wo. Aber wir finden es jetzt raus. The only answer I could think of lay in the first classroom, so I walked over to it. And sure enough, I saw Rooster standing there, a grin on his face. Ta-da! Rooster, what did you do? I simply thought it through on your plan. My plan? Yeah. You led them into the classrooms in that order, and you kept talking like that. Listening in, at first I was confused, but then I realized what you were signaling me to do. First, I took 4 of those Hot Wheel cards and put them on the 4 textbooks. Then I put Big's body on the textbooks. Like that, I could roll her around easily. When the 3 of you entered the second classroom, I made my move. Since we're afraid you might be a killer, Dog wanted Horse to stay with him at all times. And since they thought you were acting alone, they never thought about covering the hallway. I used the opportunity while they were in the second classroom to move Pig quickly from the third classroom to the first. And since you were talking so much, the sound of the Hot Wheels moving along the floor was covered up. Brilliant thinking, Mouse. Oh, thanks. Good on you for picking up my plan. Hey, I might not be the smartest person around, but I can pick things up when you're putting them down. Anyways, what were we saying before this whole distraction? Tiger, right, yeah, she's an issue. It'd be best to get rid of the big threats like her and Horse as soon as we can. The only question is how. Indeed. Suddenly, pensive music began to play. What's that? Oh, I just thought if we were having a brainstorm session, I would set the scene. So I took out my MP3 player and turned on some jams. Why do you have a MP3 player with you? I don't know. I had it on me when I got kidnapped. Had it on me when I woke up. Doesn't really have any function other than playing music. Who has an MP3 player in this day and age? Mouse, are you here to figure out how to murder an Olympian, or are you here to be a judgy Jason? Because you can't be here for both. Okay, sorry. Didn't know it was a touchy subject. For the record, I find that music more distracting than anything else. Well, I like it. Okay then. At any rate, a head-on assault against Tiger isn't going to work. She'll kick both of our asses. However, she's pretty trusting. Maybe if I bring her to a classroom and you ambush her. I like it, I'm loving it. Ambush her with what? Oh. Was? Use a knife? Use electric? Boogie, boogie, boogie? Was ist denn jetzt Boogie, boogie, boogie? Oh, ich nehme das. Ich nehme Boogie, boogie, boogie. Ist, ganz ernsthaft, Boogie, boogie, boogie kann ich viel schlagen. Hey, you see the laptop charger that plugged into the wall? Yeah, what about it? Well, if you cut off the ends of it with a kitchen knife you grabbed earlier, you should be able to get a section with exposed wire. If you plugged it into an outlet, it'll be a weapon that can knock even Tiger out in a single shot. Huh. Real unorthodox idea there. I like it. Let's give it a shot. Alright, go back to the third classroom and hide right by the door. I'll find Tiger and lure her over. You be prepared to jump out with the wire. On it, boss. Was, wenn sie nicht alleine rumläuft? And like that, we had a plan. My job as usual was to be the lurer, and Worcester would be the killer. I didn't take long to find Tiger. She was searching in the auditorium on this floor. Convincing her to follow me was easy enough. She wasn't suspicious of me at all. Ich meine, sie war letztendlich dabei, von daher passt das schon. I told her I needed her help with something, a classroom, and she just followed. I brought her to the door. After you. Without a second thought, she walked in first. Walked right into Rooster's trap. The moment she entered, Rooster ran at her, reaching up with a wire. However, a wire isn't exactly a weirdly object, and Tiger had killer instincts. She dodged to the right of the wire, and threw a punch directly at Rooster. He wasn't able to dodge, and instead went flying across the room. Tiger immediately turned back around to me, and grabbed me by the throat. I guess she immediately put together that I was in on it with Rooster. When she grabbed me, I expected to be choked out, but no. With just a single hand, she crushed inwards and broke my throat. Then she let me go, sending me to the ground, choking, coughing up blood everywhere. As I felt myself drift into the next world, I only had one thought. Good for her. 2 of hearts. On her quest to defeat the group, Mouse will inevitably be put into conflict with those she can't simply kill with strength alone. If she's smart enough, she'll be able to defeat them through other methods. If she isn't, her journey will end there. Okay, anscheinend muss ich dann verstecken einfach? All I need you to do is hide. What? Just trust me. Based on the rate of this game's been going, I'm pretty sure this will work. You just need to be out of sight and this will work. I don't see what you intend here. I'm intrigued. If this is what you say we're doing, that's what we're doing. Alright, go back to the third classroom and find a great hiding place. I'll find Tiger and lure her over. On the bus. And at that we had a plan. Okay, das haben wir schon gemacht. So. Alright, the issue is in here. Although actually the round's getting close to being over, isn't it? Hey, you're right. Before we start on that, we should input our moves on the tablets. Here, you can use this room. And I'll use the one right beside it. Cool. Oh, weil sie nicht allein im Raum ist, deswegen. Sie wird das Ding aktivieren und sie wird nicht allein im Raum sein, das heißt, sie wird sterben, weil sie die Regel gebrochen hat. Das ist clever. Ich dachte auch, das ist so clever, die Methode. Das erste, was ich dachte, ist, versteck dich im Raum und warte, bis man reinkommt und ich das auslösen möchte. Die sind tot. And just like that, the trap was set. Tiger walked into the room without a single alarm being raised in the head. I waited, and expected, a little bit later, I heard screams of agony. The Jade Emperor made it very clear. Using your tablet when someone else was in the same room was against the rules. Penalty? Instant execution. We couldn't kill Tiger, but Brian could. I walked in and saw the results of my trap. I saw Tiger lying face down, blood dripping from her neck. Rooster had gotten out of his hiding spot and looked down at the carnage with a blank look on his face. Dang mouth, cold-blooded! How was that cold-blooded? We didn't even do anything this time. You're right. Still, you're really good at this murder thing. Like, scarily so. I didn't give him any more of a response than that. Hey, what's this? Rooster noticed something on the body. He leaned down and fished out a pistol from Tiger's pocket. Sweet, a pistol! Huh, wonder what Tiger was doing with something like this. Did she have this on her the whole time? I guess so. I mean, there haven't really been any weapons lying around the school, at least not that I've seen. But in that case, does this mean she had this on before she was taken? Perhaps. And anyway, this could be useful. Who should hold on to it? Gute Frage. Rooster könnte es zu schnell nutzen. Ich nehm's mal. Give me the gun. Hey, where do you get it? Because you can defend yourself, I can't. Huh, true. Ego stroked, Rooster gave up the gun without any second thought. And so what now? I think we should split up and look for my trinkets for a bit. Act normal. Divert suspicion. After all, we've already killed 5 people. That's like halfway there. You're right, we should pace ourselves. Alright then, I'll check out the 3rd floor, and you can go down to the 1st floor. Got it. Oh, and like I told Tiger, the round really is almost over, so make sure to input your move. On it! And just like that, my one ally split up for me. I was on my own. Well, I couldn't dwell on that too much. It's not like there was any reason that I'd be in danger. I wasn't a suspect or anything, and there were no traitors coming after me. In the classroom with only Tiger's dead body, I took out my tablet and pressed the run button. Then I left the room and walked down the stairs. Ich glaube, dass ich die Waffe habe, mich echt verfluchen. Eventually, I made my way back to the cafeteria, where I found Ox. He was inspecting the results of the round on the screen. He didn't look pleased. Ugh, it's all going to shit. It is? I pretended to look concerned and checked the screen. Oh, that's not great. At least nobody's gone off there on their own. I suppose. More concerning, it looks like Bunny escaped. Indeed. That does appear to be the case. I wonder if his partner freed him. We should have taken precautions against that scenario. Do you think we're doomed? I would certainly hope not. Though I can't exactly face the situation with any sense of optimism. It's all that damn Brian's fault. Seriously, how can he think any of this is okay? He's a child. A damaged, unwell child, but a child when it comes down to it. No, I'm inclined to blame Aaron Morris. Aaron Morris? He's the one possessing Brian to do all of this in his stead. If only the man had the sense to simply admit his guilt in front of the court, then none of this would be happening. And why wouldn't he? We had him. It was over. He should have just confessed. I disagree. Oh. Well, first off, he was never presented with any sort of plea bargain, so there was no incentive for him to be guilty. And if there was, and he did, it wouldn't have proven anything either. Oh, it's not even confession enough to determine the man's guilt. Don't bullshit me, Ox. You're a prosecutor. You're the one person who should know how it all works. There's a reason 99% of convictions end up a plea bargain. Is the reason not that 90% of convictions are correct? Okay, you're definitely being obstinate now. It's called playing devil's advocate, Mouse. Better get used to it, because it's something lawyers are awfully fond of. Whatever you say. Anyway, not that you don't already know this, but the real reason plea bargains are as common is because it's simply risk-benefit analysis. From the prosecutor's side, if the case isn't airtight, then the question becomes now how harsh a bargain are we like to get the defenders to agree to. And from the defense side, unless their case is a complete slam dunk, it's usually safer to take a reasonable deal, rather than face a guilty verdict in court. After all, a good 10% of juries are so wonky that predicting what they'll do is a complete crapshot. Rolling the dice like that when you face decades in jail isn't an option most can afford. There's pressure on defense attorneys to push for plea deals as well. After all, the court has too many cases already, and they want to deal with them as efficiently as possible. Fight for an actual trial, and you're seen as an obstructionist in the eyes of the judge and the prosecution. That sort of stigma can hurt, since you're generally working with the same group of people for years. And you know about all this through your throughout time spent in the courts. I know this because my father was one such obstructionist. Ah, I see. So you became a defense attorney to follow in his footsteps. No, I mean, not really. I became a defense attorney because I learned from him how messed up our system is, and I want to do my part to help it. Messed up? Are plea deals really all that bad? They're for the risk-free solution to suspects that generally come with relatively few expenses. Maybe it looks that way from this outside, but for the actual defendants, taking a plea deal is no small matter. For one, let's not downplay how horrible spending days, possibly weeks, in the actual prison themselves can be. It doesn't sound so bad because people can stay in jail for years, but at the very least, those jails are built for long-term residents. Holding cell conditions are horrifying. I've seen them myself. Also, the court fees, even for a simple plea deal, are pretty ridiculous. For someone with a low income, they deal significant damage. And there's the big thing about having a crime on your personal record. That thing can really stick, especially when it comes to seeking employment. And since you plead guilty, most people will assume you really are guilty. Plea deals sucks. People only take them because the other options, going to trial, has humongous risk if it goes poorly. I suppose you're right, but it's sort of the way it is. I remember Ox file. The allegations of corruption. So, as a prosecutor, have you ever felt bad about some of the cases you've taken? Are you kidding? Of course I do. Then why take them on? Well, the whole point of a justice system is built around both the prosecution and the defense coming to a case with all they have. The truth will be what ends up in the middle, right? That's a non-answer and you know it. Look, the fact of the matter is, even if I do have reservations about any given case, if I don't press charges, if I didn't press the harshest charges possible, then I'll be kicked out and someone will take my place. It's a competitive field, and it's filled with people who skew towards having a strong inclination towards justice. And I mean the retributive type. And that includes you, right? More of an inclination than you have, I guess. Mouse, all I do is my job. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything above board. You do? It'd be very easy to replace. I'd be very easy to replace. After all, I'm a trial prosecutor. My main job is taking all the information I'm giving and organizing it the most persuasive way to present to the jury. If you're really so incensed about fair and just punishments, I'd point you towards my boss. She even handles the sentencing recommendations, which isn't even strictly her purview. Really? And that's just okay? Well, I've registered a formal complaint about it, if that will do anything. Anyways, We've got massively off track. We need to figure out what our next move is. Do we even have a next move? It feels like we've already fallen into complete chaos. As far as I see it, I'm already a dead girl walking. What an oddly pessimistic take from you, Mouse. It's far too early to give up. There must be something to be done. Like what? I'm not sure, although... Ox began to pace. Something about snakes and sheep's murder. Something about it still rubs me the wrong way. Oh, I thought we agreed Bunny was behind that. And he escaped, which should confirm it. Assuming he escaped. Huh? He's missing. That can mean cop or victim. I guess you're right. Still, what's the alternative? If not Bunny, then who? You heard Rooster's testimony. And oh what? Was he making it up? Is Rooster secretly the real traitor? Is Pig his accomplice? No, I don't think that's right. I'm just confused. Maybe looking about Snake's crime scene again would help. Well then, lead the way! I didn't feel great about Ox's current thought process, but I decided to humor him. It's not like he could find anything in the art room. There was no evidence that led back to me, and if things really went south, I had some insurance by my hip. Entering the room, a wave hit the pit of my stomach. I could see the murder happening once more. The look in Snake's eyes. No, focus. That didn't happen. I know nothing about the murder here. I'm innocent. Ox's eyes scanned the scene. So, what are we looking for? I'm not sure. Something we missed. Well, I think that's going to be hard. I get how there'd be a ton of evidence if we had, like, forensic science equipment with us and stuff. That way we could get a lot of information out of every nook and cranny. But the way we are right now, I don't think it's likely the killer would have left everything obvious to us to notice. Perhaps. Ox went over to Snake's clothes, still lying in a heap of the neighbor table. I never gave these a close inspection. Perhaps there's a clue in here. By all means, check it out. Ox began going through the clothes. As I already noted, the blood in the hole in the clothes suggests he was wearing this at the time of the crime, and that he was stabbed in the gut from the front. Probably someone he knew, not that it narrows things down. From the location, we could probably eliminate Horse, Tiger, and Pig as suspects, but again, not a huge help. I wonder if there's anything in the pockets. The pockets? I never thought to check that. Well, there shouldn't be anything incriminating there, but I was curious as to what Ox might find. Let's see what we have here. This looks like a key. What's this doing here? You think it's part of the game? No, I don't think so. It's on a little loop, and it's got a label on it that doesn't match with the style of anything else. Master. A master key for something. What? I don't know. Probably just for his house, right? Yeah, probably. Anyway, I don't think this is a breakthrough evidence you were looking for. Agreed. He put the keys down, then fished something else out of his pocket. It was 2 colored markers. A red one and a gray one. Now what's this? Huh? What? What is that doing there? I'm not sure. But then these are the art supplies. Ox looked around the room before spotting a set of matching markers. That set over there, he grabbed them from there. That set is sitting on the table right by where we found the wiped up bloodstains. It's likely that after he got stabbed, he slumped against the table, and with the last of his strength, he grabbed a hold of those markers. That's possible. Judging by how everything we know, I think... Oh nein! Warum gebe ich mir einen Senf dazu? Warum? Warum muss ich mich einmischen? He was probably trying to fight back with these markers. He didn't immediately know the stab was fatal, so he intended to fight against his assailant with nothing more than a pair of markers. He planned to use markers as weapons? Doesn't seem the most efficient plan. Surely it was something better he could have grabbed. He was dying. I don't think you can fault him too much for his choice of weapon. If he meant to use it as a weapon, why would he shove it in his pocket? Well, no. I think there was another reason for grabbing these markers. Ja, das habe ich auch gedacht. Deswegen, ich also, das ist bestimmt das hier. I think it was, as he was dying, Snake wanted to help the group. He didn't have many options, but on the table he had collapsed onto there was a marker set. Thinking quickly, he discreetly grabbed 2 markers and shoved them in his pocket. Those markers weren't randomly chosen. There's some sort of coded message. In other words, those markers are Snake's dying message. Ja, grau und rot. Grau für Maus und rot für Rooster. We're doomed! We're doomed! Es gibt keinen anderen Grau und keinen anderen Rot. Oh nein! I'm inclined to agree with you, Mouse. As cliché as it might seem, that's the most likely possibility. But in that case, what's the message to say? Indeed, what could it mean? I can't imagine the message would be all that complex. After all, he was dying as he grabbed them. Whatever he meant to get across with this action, it must have been something very simplistic. Could it be... Okay, warte. Red, Rooster, Grey. Haben wir immer mit G in der Gruppe? Nee, oder? Warte. Ich habe hier eine Tabelle. Ich kann kurz nachgucken. Mal gucken, wen haben wir denn? Wir haben Maus oder Rat, Ox, Tiger, Bunny, Dragon, Snake, Horse, Sheep, Monkey, Rooster und Dog und Pig. Okay, wir haben keinen mit G in der Gruppe. Colors wäre schlecht, das wäre wirklich Maus und Rooster. Von daher vielleicht nicht die beste Idee. The markers themselves are the message. I think whatever the message is, it has to connect to the two markers. And why is that? In that situation, with the killer right in front of him, I don't think Snake would have the luxury to look through and find the markers he wanted. It makes more sense that he just saw the marker set, thought of the message, and grabbed two of them. I disagree. If the set was still packed, you have a point, but the way it's set up, I don't think it's unreasonable that Snake could have seen the markers he needed and grabbed them. I mean, maybe? No. The thing you're looking for are the colors. He's an artist after all. The colors red and gray hold significance. That's the message. Okay, warte. Snake is an artist. Naturally, he'd be on the lookout for colors. I think, okay, danke. Nein. Sorry, ich bin gerade verwirrt, mein Internet ist irgendwie ausgefallen. Irgendwas ist gerade passiert mit Netzwerk 3, was mal das heißt. Muss ich später mal reingucken. Egal, weiter geht's. I think if anything, it's a message. It's the colors. Specifically red and gray. Something about those two colors holds an important hint. Yes, that would be the reasonable assumption to make. So looking at it from that angle, we should be thinking what the colors red and gray could mean. If I'm thinking about what those colors could mean, there's one conclusion I can draw. The colors of the pawns and the race board. Wooster, the witness who saw Snake, has a red pawn, and your pawn is gray. That's right. So then... Die Sache ist, das kann nicht sein, weil er hätte sie nicht so versteckt. Er hätte sie nicht in die Hosentasche gepackt, weil das wäre zu riskant. Er würde nicht wissen, dass sie gefunden werden. Wahrscheinlich, das kann ich mir vorstellen, weil der Killer sich gesehen hat. Das ist sehr, 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 sehr auf Krawall gebürstet. If I were the killer, you'd be dead. You'd be dead by now. Das ist schön gesagt, aber. Okay. Die Antwort kommt im nächsten Part, denn ich finde diese Idee lustig von dieser hier. Ich mag die Idee. Deswegen im nächsten Part. Ich hoffe, es macht euch Spaß. Mir macht Spaß. Wir kommen auch langsam dem Ende näher. Das heißt, bald müsste auch bald das Ende kommen. Ich sag mal so 10 bis 15 Parts noch und dann war's das schon. Und dann geht's weiter mit was anderem. Noch eine schöne Adventszeit, schöne Dezemberzeiten und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Tschüss.